The cheeseburger might be the most dangerous object a prehistoric human could encounter. Not because of the packaging, not because of the heat, because of what it is. A cheeseburger is a precise, engineered combination of every nutrient the human brain was designed to crave: fat, salt, sugar, protein, carbohydrates, all in one object, all available at the same moment. Your ancestors spent their entire lives searching for these things separately, and mostly failing. Put all of them in one handheld package, and the human brain has absolutely no defense against it. So let us actually do it. Let us put a caveman in front of a cheeseburger and go through it piece by piece, because every single ingredient tells a story about what your body was built for and what it was never meant to handle. Start with the bun, soft, white, slightly sweet. A prehistoric human would have never encountered anything like it. Bread requires farming. Farming is only about 10,000 years old. Our species has been around for roughly 300,000 years. So bread covers the last 3% of human history. And white bread, the ultra-processed kind used in burger bun, has only been mass-produced for about 150 years. Your digestive system has had essentially no time to figure out what to do with it. When prehistoric humans ate carbohydrates, they came from roots, tubers, and wild fruit. Tough to find, hard to chew, energy that took hours to release. The burger bun hits your bloodstream almost immediately. Your body registers it as a jackpot. Fast energy once meant the difference between catching the animal and going hungry. So your body stores everything it can and reaches for more before you have even swallowed. The bun alone would have been the sweetest thing a prehistoric human ever put in their mouth, and they had not even gotten to the rest of it yet. Now the beef. A prehistoric human would have eaten meat. Hunting was central to early human life, but the meat they ate looked nothing like what goes inside a burger. Wild animals are lean. A wild deer carries about 4% body fat. A beef cow raised for food today carries around 25 to 30%. That gap is not natural. Thousands of years of selective breeding turned cattle into something that would not survive a single season outside a farm. What it produces, though, is fat. And fat was something the prehistoric nervous system was always hunting for, not just enjoying, actively hunting. An animal with significant fat reserves was a major event. It meant enough stored energy to survive winter. Your body developed a response to the taste of fat that essentially says, "Do not stop." A burger patty, 2 of them, cooked in their own grease, would have triggered that response at a level no human alive at the time had ever experienced. Their hands would have been shaking. Then there is the cheese, and this one takes a moment to sit with. Cheese is fermented aged cow milk. Humans are the only animals that drink the milk of another species, and the only ones who take that milk, let it sit for months or years until it becomes something else entirely, and then eat it. For almost all of human existence, nobody did this. The ability to digest milk as an adult only evolved in certain populations about 7,500 years ago. Before that, drinking cow milk as a grown adult would have made you sick. Even today, the majority of the world's adult population cannot properly digest dairy. A prehistoric human almost certainly could not. So the cheese slice alone could have caused real stomach problems. The stomach would have been furious. The tongue, though, would have been a completely different story. Cheese is one of the most calorie-dense foods humans have ever created. Rich in fat, rich in protein, deeply savory. That savory quality has a name: umami. The fifth taste your tongue specifically evolved to detect because it signals protein. Protein meant muscle. Muscle meant survival. 2 completely different reactions happening in the same body at the same time. Now pour salt on all of that. Or rather consider that the bun, the patty, the cheese, the ketchup, and the pickles are already carrying more sodium than a prehistoric human would have consumed in an entire week. Sodium is something your body genuinely cannot survive without. It regulates your fluid balance, your nerve signals, your muscle contractions. Your kidneys conserve it so aggressively because for most of human existence, getting enough was a real challenge. Early humans got most of their sodium from animal blood and meat. It was never abundant. The taste of salt became one of the most rewarding signals your nervous system could receive precisely because finding it was hard. Then we figured out how to make it in industrial quantities and put it in everything. The average fast food cheeseburger carries somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 milligrams of sodium. The suggested daily limit is 2,300 milligrams. One burger gets you more than halfway there. A prehistoric human biting into all of that would have felt something like drinking cold water after 3 days without it, except in every single bite, on top of everything else already happening. And then the ketchup. A tablespoon contains about 4 grams of sugar. That sounds unremarkable until you understand what sugar meant to someone living 50,000 years ago. Sweetness in the natural world comes almost exclusively from fruit and honey. Fruit is seasonal. Honey requires finding and raiding a beehive. Neither is easy. Your tongue finds sweetness irresistible because it once reliably meant ripe fruit and quick energy. The ketchup on a cheeseburger contains more sugar than most fruit a prehistoric human could have gathered in an entire day of searching. And it lands on top of the already sweet bun, the savory cheese, the fatty beef, and the overwhelming sodium. Each one of those a significant event on its own, all of them arriving in the same bite. The pickle is the odd one in all of this. Fermented food existed in the ancient world, mostly by accident, so the concept would not have been completely foreign. But the sharp vinegar bite landing on top of everything else would have been confusing. Not unpleasant, just unexpected. Like a note that does not quite belong, but somehow makes the whole thing better. Your palate would have searched for it, found it, quietly wanted more. So here is what actually happens when all of it comes together. A prehistoric human eating a cheeseburger for the first time would have experienced something close to a neurological event. Every reward circuit in the brain, everything that evolved to fire when something genuinely valuable is found, would have activated together. The fat signal, the salt signal, the sugar signal, the protein signal, each one arriving in concentrations that do not exist anywhere in nature. Nature never put this much fat, this much salt, this much sugar, and this much protein in a single object. There was no reason to build an off switch for something that could never exist. I keep coming back to this one thought, and I cannot quite shake it. We eat cheeseburgers casually. Most of us do not even finish them sometimes. But the only reason it feels ordinary is because we grew up surrounded by food engineered to hit the exact same circuits. Our entire sense of normal has shifted so far from what human beings were actually eating for most of their time on this planet that we have genuinely lost the ability to feel how extraordinary the ordinary actually is. A prehistoric human would have wept eating a cheeseburger, not from sadness, from something closer to overwhelming relief. Every signal in their body saying, "This is the best thing that has ever happened." We just call it Tuesday. The cheeseburger does not feel like a problem because it tastes too good. It feels normal because the world around it changed faster than the body inside it could follow. Finding something this calorie dense was once a genuine survival event. Eating as much as possible was the right call. The body is not broken. The environment is just unrecognizable. In the 300,000 years since our species appeared, food has changed more in the last 100 years than in the previous 299,900 combined. Evolution moves across thousands of generations. We have had maybe 4 or 5 since the cheeseburger was invented. The gap between what we are built for and what surrounds us is the widest it has ever been. And it gets wider every year. A prehistoric human would not have had words for any of it. They would have eaten every last bite, then looked around for another one, then spent the rest of the day trying to figure out where it came from, which is more or less what happened to all of us. The food industry found the exact combination of things the human brain cannot refuse, made it cheap, put it everywhere, gave it a name. Neither the caveman nor the rest of us ever had a chance.